Welcome back to Black Sheep, fellow miners and crafters. I am Scargut, and this is episode 6. We are going to do some stuff inside the Dwarven Keep. I've been slowly working on a few things in here, and you see we have new guardians by the door. Just some little goofy statues I threw together. But I want to go add some more farms in here. Got so much space, and some of these I don't really need, but some I am doing just because it's fun. Oh yeah, we put this teleport pad in here too, so we crouch, boom, look at that, we're down in the forge. It just took us right down here. Again, hop on that and boom. World utilities, man, I love it. What else have I been working on? Simple sticky piston light source inside two of the farms over here. The spider spawner, which we can flip that, and there's the dark, so we got spiders dropping. Or we can do it over here. And then we have skeletons dropping. Should probably kill these guys off before they just pile up. We'll get back to it. This one, not so much. We just put a window in so we can kind of see some of the blazes dropping in. This isn't the hallway I really want to work on. I have a whole nother hallway of auto farms that I'm trying to build and install. If we go back here where the other canyon was, or the big pit, which this is an upcoming project real soon. I got to do something with all this, but back here we installed our double sugarcane farm. So we get all the sugarcane we're going to need. Lots of trading possibilities with our villagers. Make some money there. We installed a passive bamboo farm. This isn't anything fancy. I don't need tons of bamboo, but I like to have some on hand. It is not completely lossless because you can see some just floating around in there. That kind of drives me nuts, so I might end up having to redo this one. Oh, see, now I'm just breaking everything. Alright, let's see. Oh, that's 15 pieces. Alright, that is way too much, so I'm going to have to address that. But, I mean, 15 over the how much we're gathering that... Yeah, no, stop. Alright, so 15 loss isn't too bad. I don't know how long... No, they haven't been staying there long, but... We do have a chunk buddy down here at the end of the hallway. Another passive farm would be this cactus farm. Real simple, I don't need tons, but just in case we want some green dye in the future, we have it. And this is just simple one block growth. I didn't want them growing any taller. I don't want flowers growing on the top or anything like that, because that'll just stall the farm. But I think what I'm going to work on today is I want to put a couple pumpkin farm and a melon farm in here. And maybe even install a villager for trading the pumpkins and melons. We'll have to see how that goes. This little path just leads down to where the original spider spawner was. I haven't really gone and done anything else down here. It's just set up with nothing happening. And that path goes down to where the forge was. Beyond this wall is just our big pit. So it kind of shows you where I'm at with all that. But I think I need to gather this stuff for the melon farm. Now you can build one of these. It can be a melon / pumpkin farm, or you can do two separate ones. It's however you really want to do it. It is a little bit material heavy because you need a bunch of pistons and observers, which I happen to have a bunch of. Perfect. We're gonna need I'm just taking them all. Comparator, a torch, some lever, hoppers, Some chests. We will need some glass. And we will need dirt. That is not going to be enough. Or right now, I don't think. We can quickly make some more. Alright, let's see how many powered rails that'll get us. There's way more than we're gonna need, so that's perfect. That'll work. Toss these spare sticks back and throw the gold back in the box. Let's see. All right, cooperate. Sorry if I sound a little nasally today. I've been fighting this sinus thing like everyone else is right now. This weather is just ridiculous. Well, how close? I think you're just gonna go in here. That was probably a mistake, wasn't it? That's kind of dark. Three, four, five, six. And we're looking for a 7x7 platform for our arms here. Work there. Oh. Okay, I stumped myself for a second there. I think typically you build it a 7x7 cube. I think I'm going to do a 7x14, so I'll have a 7x7 for pumpkins and a 7x7 for the melons. So rather than take you guys through the long, boring process of watch me do this in survival, I again hopped back over here to my creative world and just wanted to show you what I was really building. This is the pumpkin melon farm. And as you can see, those guys are all growing up in there. And now when they produce a pumpkin or a melon, the piston breaks it, picks it down here and unloads it, And you can see we get all types of things down here. Now, the only difference between this and what I'm using in my survival world is I actually doubled up on the overall size. But if you want to build this single one like this is what you're looking for. You ever take on the seeds depending on what you're looking to add. But you're going to need 2 chests, a hopper, a few redstone torches, 1 repeater, 1 comparator, 44 rails, 7 powered rails, a minecart hopper, about 49 blocks of grass, a stack and 16 of stone, about 33 glass, a bunch of redstone. You need about 25 pistons, 24 observers, 1 stair, 1 glowstone, and 1 water bucket. We're going to grab all this, and I'm going to make one that I have in my survival world. So the base is 17 or 7. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. It would be a 7 by 7 square. My survival world, I went 14 by 7. So whether you want to do the 7 by 7 or 14 by 7, it's completely up to you. But we're going to fill this all in so we have one solid platform. Shh, don't tell anyone that rabbit's there, okay? And back here in this corner, we need to go 2 high. And in this front corner, we need 5 by 2 opened up. Let's get this stuff out of the way for now. We are going to need our powered rails and some stone. And the redstone torches for this part. So we're going to break this down by 2, put a torch, a stone, and a powered rail. I'm going to go over here, break out another one. Powered rail. And right there. And we're going to try to repeat this pattern back and forth as we go. So, nope, that was wrong. Put the rails down. And all we're doing right now is actually building the collection system for our farm. We're going to let this one trail off here. We want 1 solid block right there. We want a powered rail. And we need our chests and our hoppers. So we'll put up our chest right there. Come around to the back side. Make sure you get a funnel in there that is funneling into that chest. And we're going to add 1 more powered rail. Here we are going to build, oops, a little T-shaped. We want a comparator facing away so that those 2 prongs are reading what is actually in that hopper. We want 1 repeater and 1 redstone torch. And what this does is it sets it up so that the minecart will stop and empty off everything that it's carrying to that point. Okay, we want to go back to this back corner. We want to go the other way. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Now we're going to fill in this platform with some of these being temporary. Some of them are going to be permanent. We'll put a whole layer in. And then go back here to this corner and put in a layer of pistons in a checkerboard pattern. And then we're going to go up and we're going to break every block that doesn't have a piston underneath it. Next step, we'll be going through and then putting an observer facing down between every one of these blocks that you just broke on the piston level. Again, it doesn't have to be this big. You can go with that simple 7x7 that has a combination of pumpkins and mushrooms, or pumpkins and melons in it. But we're going to go this route. Now, on the back of every one of these observers, I need you to put one redstone. And what'll happen here is when the observer detects, it'll fire up, it'll hit this redstone, and the redstone will hit all the adjacent blocks. So one observer has a potential firing off 4 of the pistons in an area. Well, we're going to go back down here. And on this layer, we want a layer of dirt. Dirt or grass, it doesn't really matter. This is just what I had in the chest, so this is what I'm using. You're still going to go back through, you're going to have to hoe it, so. We'll go 4 blocks in, and then 1, 2, 3, 4 deep. And break this piston out, and replace it with a stone. We're going to need 1 bucket of water. You're going to want to put in 1 stair, a grass block or dirt block in front of it, and then flood that. So that side we went in 4, this side we'll have to go in 5. That one. Alright. Apparently we have a bunch of visitors here that we don't really want. So let's done peaceful, because we don't need our zombies now, even though they were up there for that farm.
want to get a hoe. And now underneath every one of these observers, oops, not that one. Let's put that back. That one, and this one, and that one. Alright, from here we just need to grab out our seeds. And you get to pick how many of these you want planted, but you'll see the minute we put a seed down here, it'll fire off pistons. That's all pumpkins. I'm going to switch to the melons now. Right there. Okay, and the last step, you're just getting some of your glass, because these things do have a tendency to go and flying. And we're just going to surround this with the glass. One final step would be just taking your minecart with a hopper, placing it down, and letting it go. And that is your entire melon and pumpkin farm right there. We have a single unit, which is a 7x7, and then we have the double, which is 14x7. Either one of these is fine, guys, and you will collect all types of them. They're going to be constantly running once they start. There's nothing in there to actually disturb all that, so you don't have to worry about spawns in there. It's not tall enough for any of the tall spawns. And obviously the spiders aren't going to spawn in there either. As long as we have the stairs flooded, you're going to have a growth rate. And I can turn up the tick and show you what's happening, but we've already got it going over here. That's the farm. Now we're going to hop back over to our survival world, and you're going to see the finished product over there. Alright, I hope you enjoyed that little bit of a tutorial, guys. I'm trying to do something a little bit different with my videos when I'm building these farms, at least trying to explain some of the more complicated ones. Though this one isn't too bad. As you can see, it's starting to grow. This one has not produced anything. The one thing I did not show you in this tutorial was above those stairs when you flood them. Put a glowstone block in there. That'll be a light source to help your crops grow. There you go. You just saw something update, so the pistons fired off. But that'll be your light source in there, and it'll stop things from growing in there that aren't supposed to, and, you know, it lights it up for you. Here's our simple collector down here. Again, we don't have anything going on, but you can see our minecart travels back and forth. And there's plenty of light down here from our powered rails and stuff, so no, we don't have to worry about anything there. Now, obviously, with these types of farms, with any crop farm, you have to be in the general vicinity to get things to grow. If you leave, the chunk unloads, and they won't grow, so that'll hinder some of your growth process. I would build this thing, maybe the 7x7, closer to your starter base if you want, or tuck it into your basement, something like that. Bigger ones like this, sure, they're great too. I'm just building these to actually build them, and I might set up a trading hall in here where I can just trade melons or pumpkins or whatever. But the other advantage I have is with the World Utilities Pack. I got our little chunk buddy here, and he keeps this chunk loaded up, so all of these passive farms will keep going at all times. We have plenty of cactus. We're going to have all the bamboo we could possibly need. And now we will have melons and pumpkins coming out of here soon, or melon slices, because the pistons will break them. But that's okay. We can make glistening... You guys see that too? I think something just fell over there and died. But we'll have all the pumpkins we need. If you want to do a copper golem army, this is great. You're going to have all the pumpkins you need for jack-o'-lanterns. Or if you can find farmers to trade them with, that's a good income. You can generate emeralds that way. The melons, you have the glistening melons you can make out of it for potions and such. Or it's a food source. The other thing we added in, again, was the sugarcane farm. And this is just a box of bone meal. I have a funnel track, or a hopper track that goes into this dispenser right there. And another one that goes around the backside into here. Unfortunately with this, with the longer hopper line, this side will always have more bone meal on the ready. But that's okay. And as the sugarcane gets up in front of the observers, it breaks. Now I can turn this on and keep cooking it through. And as you can see, it works out really good. But the other bonus to this too is that stuff will grow passively again on its own. So if I'm not over here, the chunk buddy's got this all loaded up, I'm still generating sugarcane. So this hallway is just literally passive free growth. So we can get different materials this way, guys. Cactus farm can be stacked up. You can do these up to like 6 tall if you wanted different layers. This one you could expand out even farther too, as long as you get the tracks right. Keep the grid the same way. You shouldn't have a problem, but I don't think you're going to need much more than this for the most part. I mean, I guess you could build a house out of pumpkins. That'd be kind of cool. But guys, I think that's where we're going to wrap this one up. I know these videos are getting kind of a little bit shorter, but I'm trying to not be too long-winded with a lot of this stuff. So I really appreciate you all coming along on the journey with me. And as always, thank you.